a lot of people didn't realize that was really an option. So,
Or what was that? I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Karma wanted focus, but nobody else mentioned that. But whatever.
Okay.
I feel like you guys might not have known that because we kind of didn't mention that in the pregame lobby. So probably just go over everybody, but
Yeah,
I'll start on Karma because she asked. Okay, so I don't mind your item build. Actually, did you? I don't remember when you got your Zanyas. So that's a thing I don't remember. But I mean, you did okay in lane. The problem is you gotta be like the poke was good, but the problem is you're getting a little too close to the Leona when you were poking, and then she would engage on you, counteract your poke, and win the trade. Honestly.
Yeah, because you're squishy and Leona is
She's
inherently tanky. While you're winning that trade in the first half of it with the hardcore poke, getting in just that extra one Teemo space puts you in position for Leona to come all in on you and either turn and stun your AD carry or turn and stun you, and doing so is going to put you guys at a significant disadvantage because now you have nothing left to do. You've laid down your massive poke. I mean, Karma's kit at that point, you're like, okay, well, I just got locked down and stunned, and Sivir's now nom-nomming on my face with a ton of damage.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, Karma, you just gotta work on playing a little safer against the Leona. So, yeah, that was pretty much the big thing. Oh, and your Sightstone, you needed your Sightstone way earlier. Like you had Sork boost before you even had a Ruby Crystal towards your Sightstone. You gotta get the Sightstone early. Like it is so huge.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll just go and okay. I'll jump to Sivir because she's talking in chat right now.
Yep.
Said she didn't really know what to build because she doesn't play ADC much. Okay, as a rule of thumb on ADCs, never build attack speed first. Always build damage first. Like, unless you're like somebody who builds Blade of the Rune first, then whatever. Same difference. You kind of do both at the same time. See, thinking shit. Okay, so you're like, I'm thinking Shiv for farm because you can't last hit. You can't last hit. What you want is more AD. Because then you have more room for error in your last hitting. So you can hit it a little bit too early and have enough AD for it to still be fine. Getting attack speed doesn't really help you much at all there. So, yeah, you should have gone the Infinity Edge first and then Static Shiv. Nothing wrong with the Trinity Force, Zerkagreaves. Actually, they had a fair bit of armor in the team. You should have built a Last Whisper earlier than you did.
I was going to say, J4 ended up with a Thornmail and a Sunfire cape.
And a Sunfire. And then there's two
Ninja
Zanyas on the
Cabaret.
team. And there's two Zanyas on the team, so... Yeah, you should have gone Last Whisper instead of the Blade of the Ruin King, and I probably wouldn't have gone Blade of the Ruin King at all, just because didn't really need it for the HP shred on it, which is, especially since they changed it, you build that item pretty much exclusively for the on-hit passive, and a little bit for the self-peel. So, yeah, build Last Whisper earlier. I'm not sure I'd buy the Blade of the Ruin King, and build your Infinity Edge before your attack speed. So that. Leona... pretty solid engages. I didn't see anything that screamed awfulness. It's a pretty solid engages, pretty good ults most of the time, and a couple that were sketchy, but happens. Oh, did you see anything about Leona that was really stuck out to you?
No, I didn't see anything huge. She did a good job at going in when she should. I saw a couple points where she went in after the team kind of had already backed off. Her team had disengaged, and she kind of went in all alone. But aside from, I mean, it didn't work out poorly for her when she did the few times that she did. I mean, she ended 1-3 and 21, so obviously she didn't go down to that. But that was the only thing I really noticed.
Okay, on to Vi, because she's also asking in chat now. Vi, my biggest issue with you is you really have to work on picking your fights better. Like, you so many times went into fights that were 2v1 or you went in when your laner, when it was, you were the 2v1, but your laner had no health or mana, and you couldn't, like, your Ziggs couldn't do anything, the one gank mid. And you went just about under tower trying to harass the Heimerdinger. And you forced your flash out because you had him running because the Wukong ended up counter ganking on you. So you didn't really get anything out of that. And there's a few times, especially later in the game, you just ulted in 2v1 after your team had lost a fight.
Yep.
Like, you can't do that on Vi.
You gotta pick your engages, and
Vi is really good at engages, but you have to pick when your engages are, because once you go in, you're not coming out.
Yep, and staying
You're like
with
Leona,
your
both
team
you
at
are
that point.
You are a point and click engage. You are not a point and click disengage. If you
Yep.
follow what I'm saying.
And that on top
So-
of that is just sticking with your team. Because you came in so late, if you had been there earlier before you guys had lost the fight, you would have had the chance to lock somebody up during the fight with the rest of your team. So collapsing earlier, basically, just basic map awareness. Like collapsing earlier to come over and get your ult down, I can't think of the name of it, down onto a priority target so that they are locked up for so long that the semi-losing team fight will turn in the opposite favor. It could have been a huge difference in some of those fights.
Yeah. Oh, also you were building Trinity Force at the edge at the end. I mean, I don't mind Trinity Force on Vi, but it is I am fed and I'm going to snowball really hard item that you build early on, or if you're going to build it at all. Like you're building it after 2 tank items. I mean, I guess there's worse times to build it. Really? Like, it's not awful, but I'm not sure I would have built it anyways. I don't feel like your team needed more damage. That's the thing you build when your team needs more damage than your laners are providing, so you build some more damage on your jungler. But you already had a pretty fed Sivir and a Jace, and a Ziggs who still death cap. He still did decent damage.
Yep.
So I don't think you really needed to build a Trinity Force, but I mean, there's worse things you could have built, so, you know. Oh, and you went Spirit Visage over Banshee's Veil. Since they nerfed the CDR on Spirit Visage, it is strictly worse than Banshee's Veil unless you're somebody who can take advantage of the passive, which Vi is not.
Yep.
If you don't take advantage of that passive, buy Banshee's Veil 10 times out of 10, because that shield is ridiculously useful. If you can take advantage of the healing passive, sure, buy Spirit Visage. It does give you CDR. But you have no innate healing in your kit, so there's no point.
Just touching on, would you build any damage at all? I mean,
Your Elder Lizard.
Your Elder Lizard does plenty of damage, and unless you, like Spork was saying, you're really ahead. There's not really a need because you're effectively a CC bot. You're gonna come in. You're doing a decent amount of damage anyways. You don't really need to build much more than just the Elder Lizard, and you're locking somebody up so long that your team can murder somebody.
Vi does a lot of damage innately without any items at all. Like her W is percent health damage with an armor.
I was just gonna
shred
say,
on it.
isn't her W a percent health damage?
It does percent health damage and an armor shred.
Yeah.
Like Vi will hurt you even if she builds pure tank.
Yep.
So you don't need to worry too much about building much damage. Ziggs, I talked about it at length a lot in lane, because you got beat on really badly by a Heimerdinger.
Which is difficult, but Ziggs has so much wave clear that even
I feel
under
like
tower.
Ziggs should have done fine in that lane. Like
Yeah.
Ziggs can wave clear. Should have been able to wave clear against the Heimerdinger better and clear out the Heimer towers with the bouncing bombs. Is the gist of it? Go back and watch the VODs. I talked about it a lot more in lane. But basically, yeah, you just didn't play that lane very well. You needed to play a lot more. The biggest thing when facing a Heimerdinger is keeping his turrets down. Like they take a long time to recharge. If he gets them up, you're in trouble. But if you can take out those turrets, free, easy. Like, not as bad as it used to be because now his W and his E are a little better, but it's still pretty. Like he's got a lot of power locked up in those turrets. If you can keep them down, it's a big advantage for you.
Yep.
Jarvan, you got way more fed than I realized at the end of that game. I missed
Yeah.
that.
J4
You suddenly
actually
got a
ended
lot
up
of kills
doing
at the end.
a lot of kills at the end.
Yeah, I missed that. It was all J4 getting those. Anyways, you did pretty solid. I mean, that was not a happy lane for you, but you did really well at just kind of taking what you were dealt and just doing the best you could with what you had. So, props to you for that. And you built pretty well. I mean, you went Brutalizer before you built anything tanky. I feel like I maybe wouldn't have. I would have gone tankier before I would have built some damage. I mean, top lane Jarvan, you do want to build damage on him. I don't know. I'm not a top lane Jarvan player, so
Yeah,
take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here.
overall
So,
I
like,
didn't have any
that's
huge
just-
qualms
that's
with it.
That's the little quibbles. By and large, you did very well. So, nice. Wukong. Had a couple questionable ults, but most of them were pretty solid. Your build is my biggest problem. Okay, first of all, you built Hydra on a jungle Wukong when you were losing. You really shouldn't be building Hydra on Jungle Wukong anyways, and you especially shouldn't be when you're losing. If you're on Jungle Wukong, after your Elder Lizard, if you're going to build any damage items at all, 100% of the time, it should be Black Cleaver, because it synergizes so well with his ult.
Yeah.
Jet will get a massive AoE 80 shred on their team that will just let them be devoured by the Lucian and the Jarvan on your team. The Hydra doesn't help you hardly any of that at all. And my even biggest issue is your only defensive item was a Locket of the Iron Solari. While the shield is good, it's a magic resist item. It gives your team magic resist. Your problem was not magic damage. Your problem was physical damage. Like, you gotta itemize against the kind of damage you're taking. You should have gone with something like a Randuin's, which also synergizes well with his ult because he can proc the active while he's spinning it, and it'll keep them longer in the damage zone of it.
Hit that tab button, see who's got big numbers.
See
build
who's
for that
fed
person.
and build against them, because like on their team, their only person who was AP was Ziggs, and he got crushed by your Heimerdinger.
Yep.
So you gotta work on you gotta build appropriately right there. Already touched on Karma.
I did
Heimerdinger.
want to touch on Ziggs real quick. I don't remember if we already did, but
We already did.
okay. The only thing did you mention the Rylai's?
I didn't mention the Rylai's.
Okay, I wanted to bring up the Rylai's because I saw the Rylai's. Yeah.
Okay. I don't love it.
You were behind.
It's solid if you're needing just more health to survive their team. I mean, you did only die twice, so I mean, I guess it worked. But I mean, you could have done worse. But I feel like against their team, if you had survival issues, you should have gone Zanya's, because a lot of their damage is very burst heavy and front loaded. If you got Zanya's, you can just Zanya's when Wukong tries to ult you, Jarvan tries to dunk you, and Heimerdinger throws rockets at your head, right?
Yep.
I feel like a Zanya's would have been a better choice for defensive items, but you could have done worse than a Rylai's. So
Zanya's
not so old, but it could have been. But
yeah,
I probably
Zanya's
and
oh my god, I can't think of what it's called. Gives them M-Pen.
Void Staff.
Void Staff, thank you. I kept thinking staff, stick.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's building towards with the Amp Tome at the end. But,
yeah, I figured as much, but I just wanted to point out, the Zanya's would have been a lot better choice, and for the gold, you would have gotten a lot more damage out of it. So
yeah. Okay, so back down to Heimerdinger. You bowled your lane really well. Problem is you didn't bring anything with it. You ended up 1-6-12. Like, when you bully your lane like that, you have to transition into something else. I will admit, Heimerdinger is actually really bad at that. That's one of his problems with, just with him as a champion. He's good in lane, but he's a lot weaker outside of the lane.
yeah, after laning phase, Heimer doesn't really bring a whole lot to the team.
So that's more just the problem with the pick itself. But just pushing that aside, like you were split pushing a bit, but you're using your teleport to get into split pushing position, not out. Like we mentioned it there. Teleport is for when you're split pushing and you need to join your team when there's a fight happening, or you need to get out of dodge really quick.
Yep.
You don't use it to teleport to where your minion wave is and then push from there. You walk to your minion wave and then push.
You want to utilize it to keep pressure safely, so that either your team can create pressure somewhere else, or so that you can rejoin your team and escape pressure, the counter pressure back to you that you're going to be drawing off because of the pressure you're putting on to get out safely.
I mean, you kind of did what you should have been, was kind of split pushing. Although Heimer is a good pusher, but not a good tower taker so much.
Yeah.
So you did all right with what you were doing. You just didn't go about it, especially like
you had the right idea with.
Yeah,
could have had better execution. How about that?
I feel like you could have roamed in lane some. I mean, it would have,
especially with Ziggs being shoved out as hard as he was.
It would have let the Ziggs back in the lane a bit, but you had him shoved out so hard. You could have just gone, bot lane or something and tried to help your team out in your other lanes. You're winning mid lane, but your other two lanes are losing. You're not. That's not helping your you're winning, but you're probably still gonna lose because they have two winning lanes and you only have one, right? Like, you should be trying to take your advantage, just as a mid lane as a whole, regardless of who you're playing. Take your advantage and try and apply that to the rest of the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thing.
Spiel.
Sure. Lucian, your build was highly questionable.
Yeah, the IE is definitely fine.
I'd say you probably should be going IE Rush, but you should not. Blade of the Ruined King is not the second item on Lucian.
Trinity Force is such a good item on Lucian, and buying it as a second item gives you such a huge damage and just a pressure increase. I mean, you just become such a bigger monster and laying out so much burst/sustain damage between your double tap and your spells And because of how well he synergizes with that item, I mean, you can chase somebody down, you can murder somebody with the Sheen procs, and you can attack even faster. You're getting the attack speed off on top of all
Literally,
of that.
his entire kit synergizes perfectly with Trinity Force. Like, I'm just gonna quickly run over it. AD, of course he loves AD. He's an ADC. AP, he got AP scalings on his W and his ult, so he actually doesn't mind that stat too much. He likes it more than most ADCs do, actually. Attack speed, again, ADC. Great chance. Again, he's an ADC. Boost speed makes him even more mobile than he already is, and he's a very mobile AD carry as it is. And then health and mana, he does a minor mana issue, so the mana is huge, and health is always great. The rage proc from the Phage in it synergizes with his W that gives him a move speed when he hits somebody if they're marked with W, so it lets him chase even harder than he already does. And then the Spellblade passive from the Sheen fits. It's exactly how his passive works, in which you should be rotating spell, auto, spell, auto, spell, auto. Like it is the perfect item for Illusion. And so yeah, I love Illusion, so I will admit I'm probably gonna rant about this too much, but build Trinity Force
Go to
Illusion.
town.
Yeah, it's just so good. And Blade of the Ruined King, I mean, it's not awful on him, but it is an item you buy on Lucian explicitly when you have tanks you need to kill, or or they're jumping on you and you need to peel them off of you. But particularly when you need the passive on hit to do more damage to tanks, which they didn't have. They didn't have HP tanks.
Vi
They had
was
a
the
Leona.
only person who was close
Leona
to it.
built a lot of armor, but she didn't build health, so that means that the on hit doesn't really do much.
Yep.
Vi built a decent bit, but not an absurd amount. So it just wasn't a good pick as an item wise. Yeah.
And I think that kind of brought down the damage you could have put out in team fights and whatnot.
It brought down your damage a lot. Like, what are we looking for damage here? You did the least damage to champions in your team. I just looked.
I'll pull it up also.
I don't know if you're not much one for. I don't know if you're just not much one for ADC, but like your build hurts you a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, yeah, one guy's mentioning with the Vi, Trinity Force late is not as great of a power spike, which is true, because Trinity Force is actually an early game item.
Yep.
Like the most important thing, like what is pretty much the most important thing on it is the Spellbait proc from the Sheen. That's based off of base 80. It doesn't scale.
Yes.
So if you want more damage, as the Twitch chat just mentioned, Iceborne. Iceborne is actually very good on Vi.
I was actually going to mention that earlier.
She does proc Sheen pretty well with her E and her Q. So that's actually a pretty solid buy on her, and it gives you a little more CC and zone control, which you never hate ever on really anybody. So yeah, I'd be more inclined to say if you want a Sheen item, go Iceborne on her, especially late game.
Yep.
So yeah, it's my kind of spiel, my ranting.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everybody. That sounds pretty good to me.
Cool.
Are we doing a second one?
I believe so.
So, would you like to create the game, please, sir?
I can do so.
I will await your invite. While I do a little bit of housekeeping that I really need to do.
Where's my copy pasta? Hey, it's all there. Good. Boom, copy pasta. Cool, I can go spectate now.
And as we fill up...
Yeah, I'm just going to be right back while we fill up, so...
That sounds good to me. I will sit here and spiel a little bit. Guys, if you are playing for the first time and you haven't played in the last game, welcome. How's it going? Welcome to the Battle Arena through Trinity Force podcast. I am caster numero uno as Zach B, and my co-caster, who just stepped away for a moment, is Spork V. That being said, I hope that you guys can come have a good time. The info is up in the T-Force chat, and let's try to fill this up. I'm sorry, I'm going to be just meandering doing something real quick, and once this is full up and Spork's back, we'll really get this underway. Alright, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, I had to do a couple quick things and get stuff rolling. Yeah. Hi, welcome to Battle Arena Game 4, I think is what Spork labeled it at this point. It's our second game for the second side of the T-Force Battle Arena stuff. And if you're just joining us, I don't know what just happened. Okay. Spork saying he'll be joining us in about 5 minutes. Man, I can't type and talk at the same time, and I apologize for that. So I'll talk about Twitch chat while we get two people in here, because Spork's on his side out. So guys, if you're in Twitch, go ahead and give me some questions if you're sitting here listening, because I'm going to try to just chat with you guys a little bit while we try to get this... Thank you, Spork, for chiming in here. I'm trying to do multiple things at once here. But yeah, guys, if you want to give me a couple Twitch questions while we're waiting on Spork to get back in and getting the next two people, that'd be awesome. In the meantime, we'll talk about Trinity Force Podcast. If you guys are new to this entire thing, you guys haven't been here before, haven't checked out the content that they put out, I highly recommend going over, popping onto the TrinityForcePodcast.com, and clicking through some of their recent podcasts and just seeing what they do. They put out great content. They talk about a lot of different things, from patch notes over to all the way into champions and the changes that they have. And they do a really great job, basically, at just breaking down the game as a whole, taking it from this giant, kind of scary monster that they have, breaking it down to the level where anybody can really understand it, and it significantly improves your play. I, like I said, have had a great time, both with this community and with learning how to play this game because of them, and it's been a really fun experience learning how to play, because I get a chance to play with such fun people. And if you guys stay in the T-Force chat, you will make a lot of cool friends that playing with really will help you. You guys asking in Twitch chat, how would you guys say Malzahar fares in the current meta? It's difficult, I would say, because the current meta is so, like, off-kilter in mid-lane champions. It went from assassins to support mids, and the support mids have kind of gone by the wayside to some degree, and now we're getting kind of this weird influx of different stuff. Okay, we have a full group. I'm just gonna check on what I think is going to be fair teams, and we're gonna see how this works out. So give me 1 second, guys. Um. Yeah, so guys, as I'm trying to say in the game lobby chat, if we could rotate one of the silver players over so that the gold and the bronze could be on the same team, that would work
Cool,
out
I'm
perfectly.
back. I'll drop out so they
Spork's
can
gonna
rotate.
drop. Cool. No, wait. No, we want the bronze.
Having fun?
Okay. Yeah, they kind of swapped it, but now they're good, so you can join. Thank God you're back. I was failing at just talking in general.
I need to grab some food because I kind of got this dropped in my lap before I had supper ready. So
That's totally fine. Yeah. So start it up. And in the meantime, as we start,
did I miss anything fun?
What was that?
Did I miss anything fun?
Nothing crazy. I started to try to talk about Twitch chat questions, and then got thoroughly distracted by the in-game chat.
Oh, guys, if you want us to pay special attention to you, let us know.
Listen to Spork. I know that Blue Bowels wants special attention. Okay. They can start when ready.
Yeah, guys, you can start whenever. Do I think AD Annie is viable? No, her attack speed is awful, and her attack speed per level just doesn't cut it. I mean, the range is decent, and her auto attack animation is actually one of the slowest in the game. You can farm pretty easily with her in mid lane because of her Q, but her auto attack animation is it's pretty much just about a Nivea level bad, which is not something you want at all in your AD carries. So, while it's kind of funny, it's not so great. I'll just go grab an example. Talking basic attack.
Who is the leader?
Per level.
Rune Sale is the leader.
Yeah. Anyways, but okay, so I'm just gonna look at some base stats here. Annie has 0.579 attack speed base and 1.36% per level. Caitlyn has 0.625 and plus 4% per level. Like, that's a big difference. And just that basic attack speed alone is one of the reasons that Annie's just not good at AD.
All right, I'm cutting you off, just because
I'm done talking.
I want to re-intro here at the 1:30 mark, just for VOD's sake. Hi guys. Welcome to Battle Arena through the Trinity Force podcast. I'm Zach B, and this is Spork V, my co-caster.
Hi.
How's it going today? This is going to be the second game we're putting on for the night, so if you're looking for your game specifically, it'll be under Game 4, I believe.
This is the fourth one overall. So it should, as far as I know, it should be called Game 4. We're still working on this whole trying to run two at the same time thing, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to get numbered, but I believe we're the fourth one, so.
Shall we replug?
Plug away.
Guys,
Close my plug
if you
page.
don't, if you don't already, go listen to the Trinity Force podcast at trinityforcepodcast.com. They put out a lot of great content. You've got the T-Force proper, which goes live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EDT, which is Eastern Daylight Time. The LCS rundown goes live on Sundays, 9 p.m. EDT, and then from our brothers down under, you have the Oslaw podcast, which doesn't go live quite yet, but they go, I believe, out on Thursday. You said?
I think it's Thursdays, but I'm not positive. Also, you forgot T-Force goes out is twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays.
Didn't
Not
I
just
say?
Mondays.
I thought I said
I
Wednesday.
think you just said Mondays. Maybe I just didn't
Oh.
hear you. I might be deaf.
Either way, and then it comes out in podcast land on Wednesdays and Fridays, usually pretty much first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
What else am I missing here? Battle Arena stuff.
LCS comes out Tuesday mornings typically.
Okay, I didn't know that, so thank you. Battle Arena stuff. You've got Battle Arena, which is Bronze to Gold only, on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Bronze Boot Camp is a bronze-only Battle Arena that Badger and Haberdashing are casting now on, what did I already say, Saturdays? On Saturdays from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and they've just started up doing an Oceanic and an EU West Battle Arena. The Oceanic is with Badger and Carrot Colossus, and that's Thursdays at 7 p.m. AWST, and the EU West Battle Arena is Badger again, and Luke, which is Tuesdays at 7 p.m. CEST, which if I